Look what we've accomplished together, my son.
I love you, Papa.
I love you too, son.
Oh, so touching.
You're gonna understand if you keep watching this video. So we've had a load of questions asked on our cherry and peach pit germination videos. Over 2,000 in total, and I thought, hey, let's make an update, show you how they're getting on, because I know a lot of you are dying to see how our little trees are doing. And we can go through some of those common questions that seem to be asked time and time again. So welcome back to Greenthumbs Garden and another video. I'm Alex, and if this is your first time here and you love gardening videos, horticulture, DIY and self-sufficiency, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you don't miss a single thing. Cherries and peaches are both part of the Prunus family, along with popular fruits like almonds, apricots and plums. They're deciduous, meaning that they drop their leaves in winter, and this is what we see going on right now. They've lost their leaves. Our cherries are bare, our peach is bare, and we've got a confession to make about this peach. If you hold on, we'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. I'll see if you guys notice when we do a leaf comparison. It's winter right now here in Cordoba, and that's what Prunus needs, a winter. Many people have asked in the comments if it's possible to grow a peach or a cherry in tropical areas. And the short answer, I'm afraid, is no. You would be able to grow the tree, the plant, but it's going to need a winter to be able to trigger it into blooming and producing fruit. Stone fruits is another name for the category that peaches, almonds, plums, apricots fall into, need a certain amount of chill hours, a cold period of winter, which is generally about 1 month minimum of about 4 to 5 degrees, which is about 32 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, to help them to trigger blooming and fruit production. Now, there's some cherry varieties out there that need a lot less amount of chill hours, about half, about 500 hours, which is about 20 days if your environment doesn't get really that cold for so long. There are varieties such as Royal Reina, Hazel, Stella, Lapin. These would need to be grafted trees, though you wouldn't be able to grow them varieties or cultivars by seed. And the amount of chill hours they get will have a bearing on fruit production. So if you're giving the plant the bare minimum amount of chill hours that the plant needs, that could reflect quite largely on the amount of fruit it produces. So that's a factor worth considering. Now, some sharp-eyed viewers might have noticed something about our peach tree that we grew. Let us know in the comments, but don't be cheating. Only let us know if you noticed before the confession was made. This is the last leaf on our peach tree. And this is what it looks like. Can you see that? That's our peach tree. And this is another peach tree we've got here. This is a grafted peach tree that I got from the garden centre. Crimson peach, we call it. It's grafted onto a dwarf rootstock to keep it small. And it's starting to lose its leaves also. They're just hanging on by a thread. This is a typical peach leaf, look. Can you see the difference? Do you know what the difference is? Can you tell? Because that one's not a peach tree. It's an apricot tree. Well, when they're in the fridge, they all look the same. If you've noticed, peaches, apricots, they're all the same. It's like tomato. Apricot's just a small little tiny peach. A cherry, it's just an even smaller tiny nectarine, isn't it? Some might disagree, but they all look pretty much the same. They're all like little almonds when you take the shells off. And I just got confused. I forgot that I had some apricot seeds in the fridge, stratifying, and an innocent mistake. But the video's still valid. Because it's all the same process. If you've noticed, if you've watched the peach germination video and the cherry germination video, it's basically the same video. It's just one I'm holding a peach, the other one I'm holding a cherry. What can you do? Maybe I'll have to make an apricot video next. Now, peaches, nectarines and apricots all grow pretty fairly true to seed. Many people ask in the comments if they grow true. Well, they do, fairly true. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to be genetically identical to the fruit that you ate. It means it's going to be a pretty fairly good chance of it being close, resembling the fruit that you ate. It could be a little bit inferior, it could be pretty much the same, or you could have a tree that's even better, or you could have a mixture of the both. The tree could be really good, growing well, and not produce that well. It's a genetic gamble, but the gamble is pretty good, and you've got a good chance of getting something decent. Cherries, on the other hand, they don't grow true to seed. What you're gonna get is a wild cherry tree that produces more likely little sour cherries. They're small, about that big, and acidic. And as a kid, well, I ate bags of them along with crab apples. They were lovely. They're really nice in tarts and stuff like that. They've got a lot of flavour, but they are a little bit acidy and sour. And now for that reason, many people say it's a waste of time trying to grow a cherry from seed. In fact, they'll brush all trees in with that and say, don't bother, you just go out and buy one. Now, let's just say for the record that growing a tree from seed is never a waste of time. Despite what naysayers might tell you, who insist that nothing's worth doing, that it's impossible to grow fruit from seed, you'll see them occasionally lurking in the comment section. At the end of the day, you might have spent a few years, maybe a considerable amount of years growing a tree from seed that might in the end not produce fruit. Let's say that is a worst case scenario. I want to know what you think. Put it in the comments. Has it been a waste of time? Here's what I think. That tree during its lifespan is locked up a little bit of carbon, contributed to the environment, being a fairly beautiful experience. If you've done this together as a family with your kids, you want a heartbreaking father-son moment like you saw at the beginning, get some trees planted by seed. Gardening, taking an interest in growing trees, or instill a love of nature in your kids. And they'll think twice in the future when it comes to looking after our environment. We need more of that rather than more kids sitting on the backsides playing PlayStation games. Even if the tree turns out to be a dud and it ain't that good, we can always graft it. We can take a scion from a productive cherry tree or peach tree that we like, and we can implant it into our tree using our seed-grown tree as a rootstock and guaranteeing production. So it's a win-win situation. You tell me if you think it's been a waste of time. So this year, we're going to prune back our cherry tree and our peach tree. I mean apricot tree, even I'm still confused. And we're going to do this in spring. For those of you that have been asking when to prune them back, this is a job that wants to be taken in spring. You see the little buds here that are on our cherry? Well, they're waiting to break out at the beginning of spring. And just as they start breaking out, that's when we're going to start pruning, so they don't waste too much energy in the branches that we'll be pruning back. The reason we do this is because in winter, when it's damp and it's cold, Prunus is pretty susceptible to fungus attacks like silverleaf and anthracnose. So we need to wait until it's dry, until it's warmer, and spring is the time for that. Many ask in the comments if you need to break out the little seed from the nut, or if you can just plant it directly, boom, into the soil, let nature do its thing. Oh, of course you can. That's how it's been going on in the wild, thousands of years. You can just plant it right in the ground, let nature take its course. But there's some benefits for cracking open the nut. First benefit is that you're going to be able to verify that the inner seed inside is healthy. You remember with the peach one, we opened a couple of seeds and they were all withered inside. The inner seed was gone. Now we could plant that and wait a lifetime and nothing's going to grow from that seed because there's naught inside. So firstly, breaking up the seed allows us to make sure that, well, there is a seed still healthy and viable inside. The second reason is we can properly rehydrate that seed. We don't know how long they've been in storage. Sometimes they're a little bit dry. When we crack them open, we can pop them little seeds into a glass of water for several hours, depending on how dry the seed is. until they plump up, soak up plenty of water. That'll give them a better chance to sprout. If they've got that hard shell surrounding it, it's going to have less contact with water. It'll not hydrate as easily. And that kind of blending in a little bit with a third point, you put it in your paper towel, which is damp, and that's got good contact with that inner seed. It's making good contact. It keeps it moist, ready to germinate. In the soil, you don't know what's going in down there. You've got less control, and you will have less germination rates in the end. If you want to know about 5 cheap organic ways to control pests in your garden, then click on the link that's just going to pop up any second now. Guys, thanks for watching. If you want to continue to support the channel, the content that is made, then be sure to hit that like button and share this video or one like it with your friends. Channel memberships are also on the horizon for those who are interested in the perks involved along with that. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.